Well, hi, happy Friday to you. I wanted to close out the week by sort of summarizing the last couple of weeks. I spent quite some time talking about social media. My sort of purpose, my why, my Simon Sinek why in broad terms is bringing new thinking and approaches to organizations. These 2 weeks has really been focused on sales and marketing and thinking differently about some of the challenges that people face in that world, and particularly with a focus on spatial and how to solve some of those problems. And I've sort of alighted on LinkedIn as one of those areas which I think provides new ways to do things. So let me finish the week by kind of summarizing it in a more direct way. Really, 5 steps that I think folks need to take to actually take more advantage of social media, particularly LinkedIn for B2B lead generation, sales, and revenue growth. Um, some of these things actually will reference back to a couple of weeks ago when I spoke about folks that I follow in terms of books they've written and their thinking. Um, so let me just jump into it. I think that if you're going to engage in some kind of a social media approach to your sales and marketing, you need to start in that place where you define your purpose. Now, that can be your company, that can be an individual purpose, but what's your why? Again, I'm using Simon Sinek. What's your purpose? I mean, again, I've stated it in my case. It's new thinking and new approaches, and I think where I'm really focused on in this little period of time is on the business side of things. So that more front end piece, which is I think where there's a challenge, particularly for the spatial industry. We're very focused on technology and data, but we don't do a very good job in terms of communicating that. So that's kind of my real focus at the minute. So if one thinks about strategy, and I'm not going to dive too deeply into strategy, one can think in terms of a couple of things. Now I'm looking over here because I've got some notes that I'm looking at because there's quite a few things in there. I'm just going to gloss over some of the details. I think one of the things I've noticed is folks don't necessarily know where they're playing. And where they're playing is really that place of not just an industry, a vertical, a niche, but the personas, the people you're talking to. So who are those people in those areas of focus that have a problem, recognize the problem, and are willing to talk to you about maybe potentially solving that problem, and they're folks that can actually make a decision on whether they work with you or not. So that's a really important place. Where are you playing? And there's the 2 parts to that, and the narrower the better, as crossing the chasm and Geoffrey Moore talks about. So that's a second piece to the prep side of things. The third piece is really how you'll win, your competitive advantage. Now, lots of people kind of talk about what is competitive advantage, whether it's vis-a-vis your competition, what do you bring to the table that'll help you win? And I think one needs to define that really closely. In our case, we're spatial folks, so we really go after and work with spatial organizations. We understand the geospatial and spatial industry, GIS, remote sensing. That world is really where we play the nicest. So really technology companies in that space that are struggling to get their message out, to communicate, to find the right people. So that's where we're focused. And our sense of winning is because we're experts in that space in the business sense. We think we've got some skill sets just in sales which are helpful, and then in my particular part of that equation within Spatial Advisors, I obviously work a lot in social media, so we've kind of built a framework, and I'm going through that a little bit today, that I think is an important piece to not only how we do our work, but then we actually show customers or clients that we work with how to do that. So again, purely on the Spatial Advisor side of things, but I'm bringing my work world into my own world in this video. So those are the foundational things. With those in place, there are really 5 steps that you need to walk through. So number 1, plan your social media presence. So if you aren't very active on social media, think about what you're going to do, that core message that you're going to push out to folks. And again, mine is new thinking, new approaches. A lot of that is kind of around your own passion, your own purpose. Again, it kind of references back to the Simon Sinek piece of your why. And I think there, within that process, you're going to build your strategy that I've just walked through here. So this is kind of the preparatory step. This is kind of guiding your thinking around what you're going to put out there in social media and how potentially that's relevant to If you've got a business, that business. If it's just for your own personal brand, again, lots of planning needs to be done about, don't just put miscellaneous content out there. Have a focus. What are people looking to you to learn, to hear about? So think about that. The second piece is what you're executing really the content strategy. So you build a content strategy. There's lots of good videos on it. I'll do some. But think about the content you're going to generate. What type of content? Is it video? Is it text? Is it blog posts? Is it podcasts? Is it interviews? Think about the content that you're going to create. Think about that theme that you've got that you want that content to sort of reference back to, again, without being miscellaneous. There's got to be a sort of an anchor for the things that you're talking about. You can approach things in lots of different ways. Again, mine's quite wide with new thinking and new approaches, but I've narrowed it because I really want to be focused initially. Where I really see a challenge in the spatial industry is that, the outreach, the customer, the building business side of things. So that's my particular kind of focus. When you're building your own content, that's one thing. The other thing really is interacting in social media. So have a strategy around how you're going to interact. Things like likes of other people's content, things like reposts of other people's content, commenting on things. You've got to interact in that world. You've got to build your network, your community, and it's only by interacting, by creating your own content and by interacting with other folks' content that you build that world that's around you. So there's the second piece. And there's a lot of other pieces we can add to this. I'm just giving you sort of the high level pieces of that. Now, if you're thinking, if this is just a personal brand thing, then the first two pieces are going to be what you'll be most focused on. If you've got a business and you're trying to use social media to get leads and drive traffic, then this next step is important. It's really about building relationships. So if you have a particular target, for example, a persona that you know that you're going after, that notion of where to play, then in everything you do, you're looking for those folks that are potentially people that you want to engage with that maybe have that problem. And again, it's often, it's a small technology company, it's the CEO, you've got to have that list of things in your mind. So as you're looking and interacting in social media, you might see comments from people that are your persona. You might watch people doing likes and comments on your stuff that's in your persona. Those are the guys you want to be interacting with. Those are the guys you want to be building relationships with. And it's one of the beautiful things about, and we'll talk about this in a minute, is they're already potentially part of your world if they're a part of your network. So they already kind of know you. So let's jump onto the fourth step. And that's really sales prospecting. And I think that this is where people hate the notion of prospecting. I mean, cold calling, all those things, people still do it. It's less effective, but people still do it. And there's still a place for that. But in social media, if you do it right, then a lot of your prospecting is with warm prospects. And that's the easiest conversation, is a warm prospect, someone that knows you, maybe someone that's read something you've written and identifies with you. You've got to do your research on the folks that you're reaching back to, particularly if they're your targets to build a relationship with, to get business. So you need to know about them. You need to know if your problem can solve their problem. You need to understand why did they actually interact with some of your content, etc., or with you. So there's an engagement place there. Sometimes in LinkedIn, it is a cold prospecting thing. You'll see somebody there that fits your perfect. And again, I've mentioned Sales Navigator, which I'll talk about in another conversation, another talk. Find out about those people. And there's a way to engage with those people. I don't like in-mail in LinkedIn. I think it's very impersonal. People misuse in-mail. I think it's all about connecting. So if you can engage with somebody, you see that they've got similar likes to you, they're the target persona, and there's something there that you can build a relationship around, problem to solution, then those folks you can reach out to, you can connect to. Once you've connected, then they're sort of part of your world. Then it's much easier to engage in those conversations. I mean, your end goal here is actually to get into a conversation with these folks. So to reach back to them and say, through your connection to them, can we engage in a conversation? And that's when it becomes potentially that place where you find out a little bit about their world, see if there's a connection between some of the challenges they've got and the solutions you've got. I mean, again, it's a pitch, which some people would call it. I don't like to use that term. I just like to see if there's something that we can work on together, and that becomes sort of a place to, you know, engage in a relationship. So those are the 5 real steps I think that social media provides, which gets you to a place. I think the ultimate, I'll end with what the ultimate goal is. It's really getting warm leads, which is the beauty of what sales always wants and what marketing is always trying to achieve. If you do it right in social media, particularly in LinkedIn, you can get to that place much more easily. So more to come on this. Again, this is a slightly different way of looking at the whole world of sales and marketing, particularly in the spatial world, and better using these tools that we've got, like LinkedIn as a social media platform, to actually spread the word about the value of geospatial and spatial technology and data, and actually solve real problems. So that's today's talk. I hope you enjoyed this week's talks. If you like them, please feel free to follow me. If you're on LinkedIn, and if you're in YouTube, feel free to subscribe to the channel. Again, I do a lot more of this stuff. I do this stuff regularly. So thanks for watching. Have a lovely weekend. More to come next week.